Hello guys, this is Paul McWhorter from TopTechBoy.com, and we are here today with lesson number 37 in our incredible tutorial series where you are learning artificial intelligence on the Jetson Nano. I'm going to need you to pour yourself a nice big mug of iced coffee. I'm going to need you to get out your Jetson Nano gear, and I'm going to need you to get ready to learn some cool new stuff. Hey, as always, want to give a shout out to you guys who are helping this channel out over on Patreon. Your support is a huge encouragement to me, and it motivates me to keep this cool material coming. If you guys are not helping out yet, look down in the description down below. There is a link over to my Patreon account. Think about hopping on over there and hooking a brother up. But enough of this shameless self-promotion. Let's jump in and figure out what we're going to do in this crazy lesson today. Let's see, where are we? Back in lesson number 35, you guys were doing facial detection. We're using OpenCV and some pre-canned HAR cascades. You could, from a video camera, find the faces in an image and then box them. Okay, so we were doing face detection. Now what we're moving towards is doing facial recognition, where you not only find the face, but you say who the face is. Apologize for this little bit of wheeziness. We're in the midst of a coronavirus pandemic. And what do cleaning ladies do? They pour on the Clorox, and so they are spraying bleach everywhere, and the bleach makes me a little wheezy. Rest assured, I am in robust health, but just while I'm sitting here breathing the noxious, toxic fumes of Clorox, I get a little wheezy. But we're going to power on through here, and we're going to get this video made. Okay, so lesson 35, we were doing face detection. And then what I sort of said is that what I found is to actually get facial recognition working, that's a much bigger job. And to do that, we really needed to upgrade to Jetpack 4.3. Okay, so in the last lesson, we upgraded to Jetpack 4.3. We got our programs moved over. We did some simple configurations. But what we need to do today is we need to get our Python environment on there. And so what we're going to do is we're going to install Visual Studio Code, kind of like we did back in, I don't know, what was it, lesson 8 or 9, something like that. We need to do that on this on this new fresh install we have. So I will need you to come over here and go ahead and open up a terminal. All right, there we are. And if we are going to install Visual Studio Code, we are going to need to, first of all, update our system. So we will go sudo apt get update, just to make sure that we're starting out with a fresh, clean, ready to go system, latest, greatest, everything fixed and ready to go. That did not take long. And I need to be mindful to make sure that you can see the bottom of my terminal. There we go. That looks pretty good. Ooh, touch my face. Don't touch your face. In the middle of a pandemic, don't touch your face. Got to keep remembering that. That's hard. You guys should just be happy I'm not wearing a mask here, right? Okay. So let's see what we have here. So we're updated. So now, in order to install Visual Studio Code, we need a helper program, and that helper program is called curl. And so we are going to go cd to our home directory. Shortcut to home is squiggly. We are in the home directory. If we ls, there is a nice folder already there called downloads. So we will cd down into downloads. Okay, and that everything looks happy. And so now we need to install curl. So we will do sudo apt get install curl. Look at that, it found it. Looks like things are happy. When the terminal is happy, everybody is happy. I don't think this should take very long to install, so we'll just sit here and have a little small talk. No time for small talk. We have it's curled already installed, so that looks good. All right, now we have to give that horrible monster installation. And so we're going to have a one installation command. So we're going to have a one command reprieve from my rule of no copying and pasting, and we're going to copy and paste this one. So I need you to go to AI on the Jetson Nano lesson 8. Okay, so if you just look at this playlist that we're on, or I bet you could do this. Let's just see if you could get AI on the Jetson Nano lesson 8. I think I have enough Google credibility just to type that in and it should find it. And boom, there it is, lesson number 8. We will click there and go to lesson number 8. And then let me get through, let me skip this so it doesn't play that while I'm trying to teach. Look at this. What is this nonsense? Okay, so now I am on lesson number 8. And then we come down, and if we look at the first comment, I've got this comment pinned, the link to curl install my code-oss. You need to do the show more. It's curl -L, curl -L, and then that GitHub location, and then this whole command here. You see that whole thing is one command. So I'm going to copy it. I'm going to come over here, and then I'm going to curl install Visual Studio Code. Hold your breath. It looks happy. It's not installed yet, but at least it looks happy. And so we'll take a second here and get that installed. You guys should be good at this. We did this a long time ago. Like I said, we did this in lesson 8. But I couldn't find any way to just upgrade the operating system, the Jetpack from 4.2 to 4.3. You just got to do kind of a clean install. Hey, that didn't take very long. And it looks like it's actually happy. All right. Now, we have to do one more command there to get it installed. And I hope you can see. Let me make sure. I might get a little further out of your way here. There's one more command here that is pretty, that did not help very much, but I'll just be mindful that you can see it. I think maybe if I bring this up, you'll for sure be able to see it there, and I like this view a little better. All right, so we are going to do sudo dpkg -i code dash OSS underscore 1.32.3 and then dash ARM 64.deb. So we're going to do a dpkg -i code OSS underscore 1.32.3 dash ARM64.deb. Now, if this doesn't work, probably you didn't type it in right, but let's go ahead and hit enter. Hey, looks happy. Looks like it found all the little things that it wanted to, so we're going to get this thing installed here. We're going to be up and running here in no time. This is going incredibly smoothly, and that was fast too. Okay. I think we have code-oss installed, so let's see. Let's see. We're going to come over here, and we're going to click this start menu up here at the top left. And then I'm going to type code. There it is. Code-oss. Boom! We are on a roll here. Okay, we're going to drag and drop this into the menu because I'm going to use this a lot, so I want an icon on the menu. Did you see what I did there? Let me make sure. I typed in code, I found the program, and then I dragged and dropped it onto the menu. Now we are at the moment of truth. We're going to try to launch this Visual Studio Code by clicking on it. We are a one-click machine because of the work that we did last week. It does look like it found it, and it opened it. Boom, we are in great shape. Okay. You remember last week how we brought in our PyPro folder, and this PyPro folder had all of those programs that we've written in the first 37 lessons. With a little luck, they all made it over. Well, what we need to do is kind of make that our operating folder for Visual Studio Code. So we're going to click File, and we're going to click Open Folder. And then what do we want our working folder to be? Well, we're going to go to Desktop, and then we're going to select PyPro, and we're going to say OK. And it looks like it's thinking. Now I'm going to click on this File Explorer. You should know the File Explorer button here. I'm going to click on the File Explorer button. It was already clicked. And then I'm going to look here, and the good news is the folder PyPro now shows up. So we've got kind of our working folder here. And now all the things we do, we're going to do inside of this PyPro folder. And so that should be all ready to go. And so let's see. That is ready. So what we need to do is go ahead and get this set up for Python now. And so we're going to come down to this extension manager here. I think you guys can see this okay. I'm going to go ahead and make this a little bigger. I'm going to try to make it a little bigger. Be mindful that you can see the whole window. Okay, and bring this up. Okay, so what do we want to install? I'm going to click up into this search bar, and what I want is Python. So I'll type Python, and this first one is Python Linting Debugging Multi-Thread, blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to install that. And it's going to take a second, but it looks like everything is going along smoothly. I'm intrigued by this Python for VS Code. I wonder what that is, but never play around with things on the fly when you're recording videos. Otherwise, you have to stop and start over. So I have had that happen a number of different times. It is still saying installing here, and it makes me a little scared of whether I have an internet connection. And so I'm having a little problem with my internet today, because I don't think it should take that long. Let's see. It did not install, I don't think, because it's still offering me install. So I'm going to like disconnect and reconnect to my network. Actually, the Wi-Fi that I have here in my office, which is a really, really good one, is not working today. And so I am logging on to the general purpose guest one, which doesn't seem to work quite as well. So, okay, I'm going to come over here and say install again on the Python. And let's see. It seems to like it better this time. It's going, I mean, it loaded all of these icons down here. So I really think this is going to work. And look at that. This thing says uninstall, so that means, in fact, it did get installed. Okay, there's a couple of little bookkeeping things we need to do. I'm going to come under File, and I'm going to come under Preferences, and I'm going to come under Color Theme. You can pick whatever color theme you like, but I want this to be high contrast so you guys at home can see my screen really well, and so I come up to the default light, and that makes a nice high contrast screen for you to see. The other thing I'm going to do is come into File, and then I'm going to come to Preferences and Settings. File, Preferences, Settings, and I'm going to give you guys a bigger font. So I'm going to click on Text Editor, and then I'm going to click on Font, and instead of 14, I'm going to give you a font size of about 24, and then I'm just going to click off of it so it will make sure that it has it. And I think that should give it to you. So I'm going to go ahead and close this window here. And okay, let's just come back over here. And let me come into Python PyPro, and I'm just going to open up our old Hello World, and yeah, that should be readable to you. That's a pretty nice size font there, and I think that should be okay. All right, it says linter pylint is not installed. Failed to install MS Python. Whoa, failed to install Python. Okay, I'm going to just say don't show again, and let me close this. Got a little bit of an error there, but let me go ahead and see if this will run. And so we're going to come here, right mouse click, run Python file in terminal, and we got a hello world, so that's good. And let's see. I know what we need to do. We need to do one more thing, and that is we need to hit a Control-Shift-P. Control-Shift-P, and we need to search on select, and then select Python, and then you see runs. That's not good. Let's search on select interpret. Okay, Python select interpreter. Can you see that? So I searched on select interpreter, and it came up with Python select interpreter, and we want the 3.6, the 3.6.8. We want to select that one. Okay. Now you notice that I didn't install the linter. I just sort of said, don't ask me about it again, because what I found is the linter doesn't work very well with OpenCV, and so any OpenCV command it would start giving errors on, and so I just said, just the heck with the linter, I'm not going to use it. So we ran our first program, boom. We have Visual Studio Code up and running. We ran a simple program. And I'm just looking down here through our notes, seeing other things that we might want to do. Let's see if there's... run this again. I just want to make sure... Okay, I'm going to run it again to make sure what version we're running here. Okay, I see the user/bin/Python 3. So that's good. All right, that is good. Now we're going to need to install. Again, what our goal is to be able to come over here to all of these OpenCV programs that we wrote earlier. It looks like we have about 23, 24 programs that we wrote. We want to make sure that those things will run on our new system. So we want to do a couple of installs. One of the things is that it's really nice that this Jetpack 4.3 comes with OpenCV. Okay, but it doesn't come with NumPy. And OpenCV won't run without NumPy. So it's sort of like they gave us OpenCV, but they didn't give us NumPy. So we need to go in and do some installations there. And this is where you got to be really careful. You can't just go in and say apt-get install NumPy or something like that. We got to make sure we're using exactly the ones that are designed to run with Jetpack 4.3. So we're gonna come over here, and what we are going to search on is Deep Learning Frameworks documentation. Is that it? Yeah, I think that's what we want to search on. So we are going to search on Jetson. I lied. We are going to search on Jetson Nano install Deep Learning Network. Jetson Nano install Deep Learning Network. You're going to click on that, search. I didn't mean to sign in. You're going to search on that. And I hope I lost my internet connection again. This is getting annoying. So I'm going to disconnect there. I'm going to come back and I'm going to connect again. Okay. And then just a reminder, we were searching on Jetson Nano install Deep Learning Framework. Click search. And then this first one, NVIDIA Jetson Nano Starter Kit, Learn to Build AI Applications. That does not look like a good one. That's an ad. It says NVIDIA Deep Learning Framework Documentation. That's the one we want, okay? And since this was a little confusing, that is not the one we want. Let's try installing TensorFlow for Jetson platform. And that comes up to Deep Learning Framework Documentation. That's what we want, all right? Deep Learning Framework Documentation. I hope that wasn't confusing. If you got confused, go back and watch it again slower. But it's just hard for me to give you a long URL like that. So what we want to come down here is there's some things that we want to do. And we need to get NumPy and we need to get pip installed. So I'm going to come back to my terminal. I might have to open another one. I kind of lost my terminal. Okay, so let's start by doing another update. Make sure that we are all up to date, even though we did this just a second ago, in case something cool came along in the last few minutes. Right mouse click paste, sudo apt-get update. That should go really fast. Okay, then we will go ahead and start getting our new command. I'm going to see if I can make this larger so you guys can see it better. I think that's better. Okay, so we did we're installing on number 2, we're installing the prerequisites and dependencies, and so we did an update. And now what we are going to do is we're going to put some of these libraries in here, sudo apt-get install, and it's just a set of tools that will be useful as we move forward. Right mouse click copy. Come back to our terminal, right mouse click paste, and enter. It looks like everything's going in. Do you want to continue? Yes, I do. And it's getting that installed. And so these are just things that are used generally for deep learning. I'm not sure why they didn't just go ahead and put them on the Jetpack, but they make it easy enough to install. And the next thing that we are going to want to do is these next few commands as we're waiting. I'll go ahead and show you. Oh my goodness. This kicked me off the network again. Let's see. Disconnect. This is getting to be annoying. Okay. Let's try this again. Okay, I think it's going this time. I'm sorry, this, like I say, this is a day that our IT guy is not in, and so when things like this happen, we just have to suffer through it. Plus, of course, if he was here, the first thing he would do is yell at me that somehow it is my fault that all this is happening, but I think that we're going to be able to just suffer our way through. So we're going to install those libraries. And then the next thing that we will do is we will install pip, and then we'll install some setup tools, and then we'll install NumPy. And like I say, you kind of want to follow along with me on this so you end up with the same NumPy, and you end up with a NumPy that works really well with the version of OpenCV that we have. So kind of important to stick with the roadmap here that I'm giving you. Hopefully this won't take very long. Again, I don't like to stop and start and stop and start. I'd rather, if you got to sit there, I'll sit here and we'll just chit chat while this thing is going. I think this is the last one. I think that we are seconds away. The nice thing is we're not seeing a bunch of ugly stuff. All right. So now we want to install pip for Python 3. So we will get this command under number 3, install and upgrade pip 3. Copy, come over here, paste. Sudo apt-get install Python 3-pip. Yes, I want to install it. I wouldn't have asked you if I didn't want to install it. Okay. And I think we have been kicked off again. Man, this is annoying. We'll get through this. disconnect, connect. Okay. Up to get that last command back, and it's going to work this time. Yes. Okay, it's going to work this time. After this, what we're going to do is we are going to upgrade PIP 3 to include test resources and setup tools. Okay. Hopefully you guys are following along. What my goal is, by the end of this lesson, we're not going to do anything radically new, but that just we have those old programs from the earlier lessons working. And if we get those old programs working, then in the next lesson, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be configuring our system to actually do the facial recognition. There's some installations we'll have to do, and maybe by the end of lesson number 38, we will do our first really simple face recognition where we recognize a person from a program that we write from scratch. It just, if I remember right, none of these things took more than a minute or two. I'm going to go ahead and copy this next command so it'll be ready to go. Sudo pip3 install -u pip test resources and setup tools. Right mouse click copy. It looks like it was happy on that last one, so I'm going to paste sudo pip3 install -u pip test resources and setup tools. And if this hasn't kicked me off the network again, okay. This is that thing that the way this is set up, if you do a sudo, it kind of gives you this warning message, but usually it doesn't really matter. Usually it works. Okay, we got that. It just took a second. So where we are now, let's see. We are going through these. We just did the sudo pip3 install -u pip test resources and setup tools. Now we're going to do the install Python package dependencies. Very carefully copying just what we need and nothing else. And this will give us the version of NumPy that will work with everything correctly. Make sure you go all the way to the end. Right mouse click copy. And then I'm going to come over here, right mouse click paste, and then click enter. And it's complaining again. But again, this has been a problem for some time, that just the way the Jetpack is configured, you get that error. But I've never had it turn out to be a problem. And we will let it let it go there. Hopefully, since you guys are not having the Wi-Fi problem that I am having today, this will go a lot smoother for you. And you can see that we are putting in NumPy 1.16.1. Okay, and there it goes. Okay, guys, that did install. I was kind of having two problems. One was that the Wi-Fi kept kicking me off in the middle of the download. And then the second was I just wasn't being patient enough. One thing I did, having trouble with the Wi-Fi, I just plugged an Ethernet cable in. That solved that problem. And then I just had to be patient. It took about 30 minutes for that last step. So if it seems to hang in the middle, like on one of those steps, just be patient. Sit back, pour yourself some iced coffee, and let it go. But you can see that it did successfully install all those. Again, that step that I had just done, that step that we were working on, was this step over on our deep learning framework documentation, and it was this sudo pip3 install -u numpy equal 1.16.1 and then on across. And so now we should have the major things that we need, and so let's go in and see if this is going to look like it's going to work. So we're going to come to our terminal. We're going to say Python 3. And now we should be able to import CV2. So I'm going to say import CV2. Boom, we got it. Now let's see what version we had. Remember, we were working on 3.3.1 earlier. So we will say CV2 dot underscore underscore version underscore underscore. Boom, 4.1.1. So we have a more advanced version of OpenCV, which is going to allow us to do the face recognition. So man, we've made some real progress. Been a little bit painful. Just for fun, I'm going to say import CV, import NumPy, import NumPy. Yeah, you can't see that anymore, can you? What happened? Somehow I got into some crazy full screen mode here. Leave full screen, please. Okay. So I import NumPy, and then I say NumPy, NumPy with an N, NumPy dot underscore underscore version underscore underscore 1.16.1. We've got the stuff that we need. We should be able to run the programs that we want to run. One more little thing. I'm going to Control D to get out of Python. Remember, in those programs where we're running the servos, we've got to install the servo library. Let's go ahead and do that to get that out of the way. So I am going to say sudo pip3. Why pip3? Because I want to install it with Python 3. So we will use pip3 and then install. And then we want add a fruit dash circuit Python dash servo kit sudo pip3 install. I guess if I made that on one line, it might make it easier for you to see. Okay. Sudo pip3 install Adafruit dash circuit Python dash servo kit. Hold your breath. Oh, what is wrong with you, you aggravating thing? It's one of those strange things. It's not airing out, but it is not doing anything. Let's see what happens there. Maybe we should give it a second. Sometimes I'm just a little bit too impatient. And, oh, okay, that's good. Remember, it's that pip3 error that we're always getting. It is trying to download it. That's a good sign. The good news is this is the last thing that we're going to have to install. This has been a little bit of a tedious lesson, but it's really getting us queued up to do the fun stuff with the face recognition. I will say that next week the lesson will actually install the face recognition libraries, and then what we'll do is we'll probably next week do our first actual face recognition where you'll train it on a face and then it can recognize that face, and so that will be kind of exciting. It looks like maybe part of what I have going on here is that my network is really slow, but we're just going to be patient and we're going to let this go ahead and go through. While that's downloading, I'm going to go ahead and open up Visual Studio Code again and take a look at that. Let's see. Okay. Looks like that's going okay. We've already pretty much got this set up, and I'm going to just try to see if I can run a couple of these programs that don't need that library. And so let's, I want to get that where I can see it underneath. Okay. So let's come on over here, and we need to go ahead and open up Open Folder. And we want to open PyPro and say OK. I thought I already done that, but maybe we need to go ahead and do that again. All right, and now I'm just going to look at some of these programs. My Hello World program. This is just a very simple program for saying Hello World. Just want to make sure that that is running. OK, run. Please input a number. All right, it wants me to input a number. I'll say 4. Okay, it looks like Python is running. Let's come down to OpenCV and let's look at some of these programs, like the first OpenCV program, OpenCV1. You guys should have this if you've been following through. It looks like this is just a very simple open the camera type of thing. Let's see if that's going to work. Run Python file in terminal. Let's see if we can open the camera. Okay, look at that. Hey, and that was the webcam that came on, so that's good news. Webcam is working. Let's come on down to like number 10, OpenCV number 10. Run Python file in terminal. Okay, look at that, the bouncing color box. Remember, I don't remember what lesson that was, but that's working. So it looks like OpenCV is working. Now, I will tell you the one problem you're going to have is on those programs where we were doing the contouring. Remember when we were searching like on a certain specific color, we were trying to track on a color and we created a contour? Okay, the contour command is different in OpenCV 4 point whatever where we just saw that we were on. All right, 4.1.1, and I want to show you how to fix your programs, and I'm not going to do it on all of them, but I'll show you one time, and then on those programs where you're doing a contour, you can go in and fix it. And let's see what this one does. Number 13, OpenCV number 13, and let's see if this has a contour command in it. This looks like it's track bars. I'm not seeing a contour in there. Oh, number 18, contours. Okay, so this is a program which is going to try to track a pin, and it has the contour command. And so then I'm going to say run Python file in terminal. And this is the error that you get. It says underscore contours in line 63. Okay, so remember when we gave a contour command, we put spots for 3 parameters, an underscore, a comma, contours, and then an underscore. We were grabbing 3 parameters from the find contours command. Okay, in this new OpenCV 4.1.1, it only wants 2 parameters. So you're going to error out if you try to catch 3. So we're just going to take that first underscore, grabbing a parameter in the comma, and take that out. And now we just have contours. That's the first parameter, comma, underscore, that's the second parameter, and this thing should work now. Okay, boom. You see that? That is working. Let's see if we can grab the pin here. Let's see what color that pin would be. I'm going to set this like this, and then let's see if we can get the blue in here. Okay, so you see, and this is, remember, this was where it was tracking my eyes in a goofy sort of way. Okay, it's tracking my eyes in a goofy sort of way, but it is finding that blue, because when you look at the when you look at this mask, you can see the blue. So, okay, you can see that for all the code that we wrote, the one command that I think you're going to have to edit to get your old programs to work are the cv2.find contours. Does that make sense? Okay, enough of that nonsense. Let's quit out of here. And look at this. We now have installed, we have now successfully installed that Adafruit CircuitPython Servo kit library. And so now our programs that we're running, our servos, those should work now. And so I'm going to go ahead and kill this terminal, and I'm going to come over here to the, I think probably the last program that we wrote before we started doing these upgrades was OpenCV 23 face pan tilt. So that's where the camera was tracking the face with the servos. So I just want to see if my servos are working on this new system. So I'm going to say run Python file in terminal. And remember, it takes a while to load that servo library. And so we're going to see what this does. Okay. Boom. Look at that. Okay, it's finding my face. And as I move, the camera is moving to track my face. Boom. All right. So I think that was about lesson 25 that we had done that in. So what is this that I've kind of done in the last few minutes that's sort of confusing? I wanted to make sure that in lesson number 1 through whatever it was, 35 or 34, all those programs that we had written, that they work now that we're on Jetpack 4.3. And what I have shown is if you change that one command in the programs where you're using cv2.find contours, if you change that by taking out that leading underscore and comma, and if you remember to do the installations that I just did, all your old programs should work. Tedious lesson, I apologize, but we are now ready to go in and do facial recognition. Okay, you guys, let me know, are you losing patience with me? Don't lose patience, right? Because you've been wanting to do facial recognition. We're almost there. In the next lesson, we're going to install the last few libraries to do that, and then we'll probably do just a quick demo to show how it works. All right, Paul McWhorter from TopTechBoy.com. I will talk to you guys.